here on Windstream Channel 4. I'm Brian Carter, and here with me is Lumpkin County volleyball coach Ryan Trust. Coach, first, just wanted to thank you for taking your time out to be with us here on the show today.
Sure.
And I understand the Lady Indians are here in their first season as a volleyball program. Talk a little bit about how that came to pass here at Lumpkin County.
Well, they've wanted it for several years. We've had the setup in our court system ever since the school was built about 5 or 6 years ago. And over the summer in June, we had some parents who were really active with the Board of Education, and they voted it in sometime in the middle of June. They asked me to be the coach in July, and really, that's really short notice. Yeah. And so we had to get equipment, build a team, have tryouts, get a schedule, really all within a couple weeks.
It sounds pretty hectic. What coaching experience have you had in the area of volleyball?
None. Yeah, so that's been a challenge. I'll tell you what, though, I'm trying my best to be the best coach for these girls I can. Yeah. I have some experience in other areas. I was a basketball coach here last year. I learned a lot from our head coach, Coach Smith. I read a lot on the internet. I had a local college player come in and talk to me, and we really had some pretty long conversations. And I also know a four-year starter for Cherokee High School really well. And she goes to North Georgia, it's a local college here, and she's been staying with me a lot and just talking to me about volleyball in general. And so I'm trying to learn quickly, but no experience going in.
For you, what would have been the biggest obstacles to overcome in the coaching area?
In coaching volleyball particularly, it would obviously be just learning the game. I've found that really, if you understand that if you can get players to play hard and get them to play fundamentally, in other words, whether I know volleyball or not, if I can get them to understand the fundamentals, and if I can get them to play hard in games, then they'll be all right. But you also need to be an expert in your field, and I'm not in volleyball. But the sooner I get there, the better off we'll be. So that's been a big challenge.
I understand this current time you're 0-3 on the season,
Mm-hmm.
but talk a little bit about how the team has progressed from game to game so far, or match to match.
Yeah, well, it's been huge. We played Raven County our first match, and we couldn't hardly return to serve. We really couldn't. And the girls have been playing volleyball for maybe 4 or 5 days, their whole life. We had one lady, Alexia Wilson, who's played, and that's the only one. And so at this point, we played Cedar Shoals recently, and we scored 16 points. And they were a better team than Raven County. So we are progressing. I expect we'll get our first win by the end of the year. I would just say that the athletes I have are superior. In other words, I have better athletes, as far as I can tell, athlete for athlete, than the other schools. So I really believe in the girls, and I tell them that all the time. But by the end of the year and by next season, I think we'll have a pretty excellent volleyball team. I really do.
And you said most of these girls haven't played hardly at all in volleyball.
Yeah.
How hard was that to actually recruit some of these players to actually want to play volleyball here?
Not hard. When the student body heard that we needed players for a volleyball team, everybody wanted to play. We had over 50 girls try out, and we had to make some tough cuts. When you have 50 girls try out, you're never certain that you pick the right girls. And so, the community support has been great, and the student body came out, by the dozens to try out for the team. So we had a lot of girls to pick from. So it hasn't been hard at all getting it going, and that's been nice.
Out of all those girls, talk about some of the depth that you might have on the team and some of the players who have progressed faster than some of the others.
We do have some depth, which is nice. Just today, I've called up 2 JV players, Larissa Siegfried and Ashley Harriet. And they've turned out to be pretty good passers. They were the best JV players, and I think at this point they've really surpassed some of our varsity players. I have multiple setters, which is a luxury. A lot of teams don't really have multiple setters. And one of the best luxuries we have is that our best players are really sophomores. Our best players are 10th graders. And so they're providing – I probably have 4 or 5 10th graders that can play at the varsity level right now, and they'll provide support for us for the next couple years, and that'll be nice.
With that in mind, what are your realistic expectations for the next 2-3 years down the road for Lumpkin County volleyball?
Well, I say it all the time. It's probably overly optimistic, but first of all, Alexia Wilson, that's our only player with volleyball experience. But we could have got every old average run-of-the-mill volleyball player that you'll see at any of these schools. Really, what we got was we got a star athlete. And we got pretty lucky there. Her along with Erica Barker, they're going to anchor this team, and they're going to be really good players. I think that in 2 years, in their senior season, I think we'll be one of the top teams in the region. If we don't win it, because they have a whole lot of support. And really, we started this volleyball program at the right time. I think next year we'll win a lot of games. I really do. I can't say how many. I would say at least half, and that's really optimistic. That's unheard of. But I think these girls are that good. I really do.
Looking at your schedule, you have a lot of road matches.
Yeah.
How do you feel that that's going to benefit your team?
I don't. I mean, it'll be good to play on the road, but home matches are wonderful to have, and it would be nice for the parents to get to see their children play. But that's just not how it's worked out. I think as the season goes on, that will become tedious, going to road match after road match, and some of these matches are an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes away. So it would be nice to get some home matches, but at least there'll be battle season volleyball warriors, by the end of the year and be ready to play next year.
Any word on when you'll have some home matches here for volleyball?
Next year. It won't happen this year. Since we made the schedule in such a short period of time, and most of the other schools have made their schedule last spring, and so we weren't able to start making our schedule till July, and that hurt because what we did was volleyball matches are typically try matches where 3 teams play, and I just went around and I found doubles matches to jump into, and those weren't matches we set up. Those were matches that were already going to occur, and so that was how we had to build our schedule. We'll have a fair amount. We'll have half and half for home games next year, and that'll be nice. I'm looking forward to that.
All right, thank you very much, Coach,
Sure.
for coming on the show and getting a chance to introduce your new volleyball program to our audience.